Hi everybody. I'm going to do a live stream on how to draw Reverie, and like I said in the post, I'm using a Cintiq and I'm using Photoshop, and see over here that I've got a layer that I've added that I'm going to draw on, and the brush that I'm using is a blue pencil. It basically draws like a colored pencil. Draw real big so you can see it. So it kind of scribbles like a blue pencil, and I usually like to start my sketches like that. Alright, so if you're drawing, if I was to draw this the traditional way, I would be probably using a very sharp pencil and drawing really lightly at first. So for Reverie, he's got a little head that is shaped like a lemon. So when I sketch first, it's really super loose and rough. And I tilted his head a little bit to the side. So then I'm gonna draw his body and make it kind of curve down a little bit like that. And it's basically kind of like a triangle shape, like that. So a little lemon head, straight line down, across and over, and his arms are going to kind of go like that. And that's very rough, very sketchy, just to make sure there's some movement in there. And then I'm going to add his ears, kind of a curve up and a curve down on both sides. But then I'm going to put my pencil right here, my Cintiq, my stylus, there we go, right here, and kind of curve down a little bit like that on both sides. And his little nose goes right in the middle of his head. Just a little kind of upside down triangle right there. And then right on either side of the nose, two little ovals like that. And then I usually kind of go out to the side. I already started doing it and making it a little fluffy out there. And for his arms, I'll start kind of right here, and I don't know why I always like to kind of draw him in this pose. Little triangles. And then his legs come down like this, and I've got 1 foot over here, 1 foot over here, and then draw a little curve, and it's a curve that kind of goes like that. It's not like this, it's a little bit more like that. So, and then draw a little oval in the middle for his belly, a little fluffy. And then a little line out and around for his tail. And then it's almost like you're putting an oval right here, but you're just doing that line, so it curves around. So that is a very rough little sketch of him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my layer, and I'm going to reduce the opacity way down, because that's my rough sketch. If I were drawing in pencil, what I would do is I would just almost completely erase all the pencil, and you'd still be able to see kind of the ghost lines of the pencil in there. I am going to switch to, it's called Inker Organic, and I'm going to switch to a black. And so this one looks, it's a little smoother line, looks like that. And zoom in a little bit. And so now I'm just going to do the lines. So usually when I do lines, I do a two-step process. I do one line, kind of all the same width. And if I was doing this traditional, I would just use maybe an ink pen or a Sharpie. And I kind of do little scribbles for his nose instead of filling it in. All right. And then for his feet, maybe a little flatter on the bottom. Now it's got a little messy down here, but I'll clean it up in a few minutes. And then this line. All right. Now usually what I do at this point is just turn off that layer over here, and this is, the lines needs a little work now. So now what I'll do is go through and make the outside a little thicker. But I'll leave this part right here kind of thinner. When I ink this with pens, I have a couple of different pens that are different widths that make this a little easier. And you can kind of tell the difference on the right side to the left side, just that little bit of extra line work makes a difference. All right. Oops. So now I'm going to add a layer underneath this line work, and I'm going to color him in kind of an orange kitty. And I know, a lot of my friends have told me this, I know that there's a much easier way to do this. You can click and fill this in, but for me, I don't know, this is kind of the relaxing part of this, is just coloring it in like you would a coloring book. And then I go in and clean it up. It's kind of the part in the process for me where I can kind of tune out a little bit and just mindlessly color them. Oops. Photoshop has a lot of shortcuts that you can use, and I am kind of bad about it. I don't know how to use any of them, really. I use it, the very basics of Photoshop. Okay, and then his tummy is a little lighter. When I was in college, I adopted a little orange fluffy cat from a shelter down the street when I was living off campus, who kind of looked like this, and I named him Newman from Seinfeld because we thought it was funny to come into the apartment and say, "Hello, Newman." So then I'm going to take a shade a little darker, and I like to put this on another layer, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow. That kind of follows the curve of his head inside his ear. And a little shadow right here on his belly. And a little bit of a deeper shadow in here. And I'm going to give him a little bit of the stripes there. And I like to add a little bit of white around his eyes. And then Maybe he should be holding something. So yeah, that's basically how you draw him, or that's how my process is. And then I also wanted to show you guys something that I've been working on all day, and it's a new Solar sketch based on Elf. And I can show you a little bit about the process here. So all of these over here are all the lines, and I put them all on different layers. And for this one, I used that more of a sketchy pencil. And then after I do the line work, the colors, you can see I first just went and filled them all in on different layers, and then went in and added the detail. And I haven't finished. Reverie's still not done right here, and the bow and the little decorations over here. But I've been working on this all day. All right. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much, everyone, for supporting the Kickstarter. Have a good night.